Oh, hi there, Libra. Hi, Libra. Welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. So we're going to do your mid-month Libra, June 2025 mid-month ahead tarot reading. I always try and come at the start of the month, but I'm always really busy, so I have to end up recording mid-month readings. So this is usually, just to have quickly explain how this is done, this is one of the readings that I usually offer on my website, and as you can see, it's not being done live on camera, it's been photographed because it's a large spread and it's tricky to get on the table. So whenever I used to do it sort of on, live, it used to just be a real cram to get all the cards in. So I thought, oh, I'll tell you what I'll do for my clients, I'll photograph it, and I'll be able to put all the cards up the way that I want to put the cards up, and everybody can see everything really, really clearly and lovely. So that's the way that I do. Not for, I mean, obviously other readings on the website are done, live on camera because they're smaller spreads, but for this large month ahead one, it's better to photograph it. Let me just quickly explain to you what the areas are. So the first column, we're looking at the situation for the month. The second column is where your head is at, what are your thoughts on, what are you thinking about. The third column is your feelings, how you're feeling in the month of June 2025. The the fourth column is, so that's the third. The fourth is, what are you hoping for? The fifth is, what do you fear for the month? The sixth is, what's the outcome? So the outgoing situation for the month. That's really, really weird because these two cards showed up for Scorpio, but just a different deck. That's really odd. I've just realised that. The overall advice is in the seventh column here. Okay, these are our Lenormand cards. So Lenormands are just, if you don't know what a Lenormand deck is, it's just another form of divination. This is just under half the amount you get in a tarot deck. Tarot deck is 78. This is 36 cards. So here we've got the overall advice for the month in the bear, the moon, the ring, and the anchor reversed. And also I'm using another Lenormand deck here as well. It's called the Romantic Lenormand. So if you're a male watching the reading, we have man facing whip. It's very directional. So this is what you need to be focusing on. It's a whip that you need to be focusing on for the month of June 2025. If you're a female watching this, then it's the letter that you need to be focusing on. We use a quantum oracle for your advice card. So we have what the advice, the other bit of advice for the month of June, for the rest of June 2025, consciousness, and also planning and action is reversed. And we also had the angel answers. So the advice here from the angels is wait, no. So I think it's telling you not to wait for something. And then we've got, I use my tea leaf cards. I really like using these, they're fun. In which we had claw, valley, and tankard. Okay, so let's make a start on the reading and have a look at what the cards are telling you for the rest of June 2025 Libra. So for the rest of June 2025 Libra, we have a situation that could occur for the rest of June is the King of Swords. Now, King of Swords can represent somebody who's in a high position of authority. So a situation could occur with somebody who works. The common idea for the King of Swords, if it's a person, would be somebody who works in the legal, in the legal industry. So somebody who could be like a lawyer, a solicitor, a barrister, could be a policeman when you get the King of Swords showing there. So anybody that works for the law, for example, an officer of the law. You might be dealing with an officer of the law, for example, with the King of Swords energy showing there. I think if you're dealing with somebody who's an officer of the law with the King of Swords, this card here is how you approach that King of Swords. You approach them as a magician. So it's almost like, for some of you Librans, you may be dealing with somebody who is an officer of the law. This might be somebody who is trying to gain some form of truth from you, some sort of information from you with this King of Swords energy showing there. How you would approach that is a magician. It's almost like you've got to kind of use your skills. You've got to use your knowledge, your wit, your know-how, it's almost like you approach it with the idea of who the magician is. So often when we're looking at tarot cards, one place I would say that would be really good to learn tarot, or one way to learn it, is to learn what these cards represent as people and characters, because that's always going to help you out in a reading if you know what the character is in these cards. So the character of the magician would be somebody who's very resourceful, somebody who's very creative. So maybe somebody here, an officer of the law perhaps, that you're dealing with. Perhaps Libra, you approach this person by being very creative with them. Maybe some information that they're wanting. Maybe it's information that you don't have. Maybe with the magician energy, you've got to approach them with the idea of being a little bit of an illusionist. So you might be saying, oh, yeah, I'll get that information to you next week, because you haven't done something perhaps, when really you're going to have to kind of, because the magician really is a card about making it up as you go along, because it's highly skilled. This is a card that represents partially communication and to be a really good communicator. So you probably want to approach whoever this person is. If it's a person that you're dealing with this month, and maybe they're an official person, a person who's in a position of authority here, doesn't have to be an officer of the law, but they'd be in a very, very important position here, because they're going to want some information, they're going to want some facts, they're going to want some information, knowledge from you. They're just going to want some data probably from you. And it might be for some of you guys, if we're getting a magician in terms of how you approach that king, for some of you guys, it is giving them what they want. You're giving them the resources. You're giving them the information, because the magician is a highly skilled individual. But if you don't have that information, and if you don't have that resource, you're going to have to make it up as you go along. So as a magician, how you're going to react to that King of Swords who wants data, who wants facts, who wants information, is with this magician, you're going to have to cobble something together, because the magician has all of the resources around it to cobble something together, to kind of pull. The magician pulls the rabbits out of the hat. So it's about pulling the rabbit out of the hat. And it's like, yeah, I got this. So some of you guys, you might not have everything you need for somebody who wants a certain amount of information. And how you react to it is by being a magician. You're kind of faking it a little bit, because the magician is a fake. I mean, nobody pulls a rabbit out of a hat. It's not realistic. But a magician pulls it out and makes it look like he just did it. So for some of you guys, you might have to kind of react to that person who's asking for information from you. It might be your boss. It might be somebody who says, did you do that thing? Or, where's the data? Where's the information? Where's the spreadsheet? Where's the completed this? Where's the completed that? But they want information, and you may have to react to them per how a magician would react, was like just by cobbling something together and saying, ta-da, there you go, sort of thing. I think the outcome for that situation would be with the Fool, that you would thankfully be able to kind of release yourself and free yourself from a situation here, extricate yourself from a situation, because the Fool is able to kind of release itself and free itself from the baggage of being bogged down by something that could be quite detrimental to you or detrimental to your health. So you might be dealing with something like that. The other way I think to look at this is a situation in the month that you're dealing with requires some form of, being analytical. Perhaps there's a need to be kind of discerning. Maybe there's a situation that's going to require some, intellect, clarity, some form of logic, for example, showing there. Maybe it's going to require some mental sharpness. I feel like if you're dealing with a situation like that, how you approach it with the magician is by just using your own wisdom, your own skill, your own intellect. They're very similar in that way, to find the clarity in that King of Swords energy showing there. And again, the outcome is it frees you. It releases you from something that could be quite sort of difficult, if you like, because the Fool, for me, with the outcome being the Fool, it would be finally you're free from this, or you've been released from this, or, you're not having to deal with this situation. You've removed the baggage, as it were. What are you thinking about? I think that you're thinking about family for some of you guys with the Ten of Cups energy. I feel like you're thinking about things that bring emotional fulfillment to you and happiness and joy, because that's the Ten of Cups energy. Your thoughts could be based on family. Your thoughts could be based on close friends. Your thoughts could be based on doing things that bring you happiness and joy. What's the reason for that? I feel like with some of you guys, you're in a situation where it's very much about discipline. You get the Emperor, and Emperors represent discipline, and they represent structure. So they're almost like being in a cube. Do you see what I mean? Like, or even, I could even go as far as to say that this could be very kind of connected in with the Eight of Swords card, in that, you're having to adhere to certain things. So with an Emperor, we adhere to it's like a hierophant, actually. We adhere to policy, we adhere to processes with the emperor, we adhere to um, things that we have to do. For example, some of you guys, it might be that your thoughts are on family because you're a father with the emperor, or maybe there's a father figure that you're thinking of here, for example. But I think that for some of you guys as well, the thoughts might be on, just as a collective, male and female. Also, the emperor represents the idea of leadership and having to take charge of something. So for some of you guys, your thoughts may be on, I want to be with my family, I want to be doing things that make me feel happy, I want to be running around in the park, playing football with my children and my wife, or playing football with my children and my husband, or whatever, and doing things that make me feel happy, going out for a day, you know, to a theme park, or going on holiday or whatever, because I'm in a situation where I've got a lot of responsibility. So for some of you guys, it might be because you've got a lot of responsibility as the emperor energy. You're in a position of leadership. You're in a position where you just have a lot of, you know, you're accountable for a lot of stuff with this emperor energy showing there. What is the overall outcome? The overall outcome is the high priestess. Interesting. Because this is where your thoughts are. You're thinking of the Ten of Cups because you are the Emperor. Some of you guys have a responsibility. Some of you guys, it might be because you want to protect your family as well. The Emperor for me is a card of protection because it represents the father, and fathers, as I mean, mothers are the same, but even if it sounds a bit sexist, the idea of the father is the protector as well. So for some of you guys, it might be your thoughts are on your family and your family's welfare and your family's well-being, because you are in a position of leadership. Maybe you're a single mom. Maybe you're the only one that's bringing in the bread and butter, you know, bringing in the money with being the empress. And maybe you're the one that's in charge, you know, as a single mother. Maybe you're a single father who's in charge of the family. So some of you guys have a lot of responsibility as well, I think, and have a lot of kind of responsibility and a lot of accountability for the family. And that's where there's a lot of thought on that. And I feel like if it's a case of, for some of you Librans, wanting to make sure that your family are okay and wanting to make sure that your family are happy and safe and, you know, feel a sense of joy and feel a sense of, you know, just feeling fulfilled and okay within the family, because you're the one that needs to protect and make sure that everything is running as it should. I feel like the outcome is that the universe is saying the outcome with the high priestess is that, I mean, this is a card about intuition. So some of you guys, it might be a sense of, I think it's a sense of paying attention to what your intuition is telling you. And I think that just on the basis of that being the high priestess there, that what this is kind of saying is, well, you know, Librans are kind of like focusing on their family with the Ten of Cups energy because of an emperor, either because you've got responsibility and accountability to the family, or your focus is on your family because of somebody around the family. And I feel like, I think that almost within this line, within this column, Libra, there's a question mark, I would say here. You're questioning something around your family because either of something that you need to be doing or are doing, or somebody around your family is doing, or around the home is doing. This Emperor. I feel either way, that question is only answered through your own intuition with the High Priestess. What is it that your intuition is telling you about this person involved in the family? Or what is it that your intuition is telling you in terms of how you can take charge of things to ensure that your family is happy and healthy and safe and fulfilled? I think the universe is saying to you the outcome is that you really need to be focusing on what your intuition is telling you in terms of what it is that you want from your family or what you're protecting them from. How are you feeling? I feel with the Ace of Pentacles, you're feeling very grounded with that Ace of Coins. Because the Ace of Pentacles, if you're feeling like the Ace of Pentacles, often this is a card about feeling quite grounded in a way. Okay, some of you guys though might be feeling like you're wanting to start planting a seed so that you can kind of start growing it and developing it. Some of you guys might be feeling like you want to move home with the Ace of Pentacles, so, you know, start a new life, move into a new home. Some of you guys might be feeling like you're ready to accept or to receive, because remember, when you get cards with hands being held out and they've got something in it and the card is holding something out to you, they're either giving it to you or you're ready to receive it. So I feel like some of you guys, it might be that you're ready to accept or to receive a new golden opportunity coming in. Okay. Or some of you guys might be feeling that you need from the universe to be presented with a practical solution. So this would be a practical workaround to a difficult situation. Now, what's the reason for that, Libra? I think that the reason for that is because you're worried with the Nine of Swords energy. I think that you're really, really worried. You're worried about something. You're nervous about something here with this Nine of Swords. Let me just get a clarifier. I won't be able to show you on the screen, but I'll just shuffle and I'm just going to ask what it is that you're worried about. And some of you guys might feel like I need some more money. Ace of Pentacles energy, because I've got a lot of worries. But what's the worry about? What is it that Librans are worried about with this Nine of Swords in 2 cards? What is it that Librans are worried about with this Nine of Swords? What is it that they're worried about with the Nine of Swords in 2 cards? What is it? Oh, that jumped out again. 6 of Swords. There's something about moving, travel with the 6 of Swords. You got the Page of Swords in the reverse. Page of Swords in the reverse to me would be somebody who's being very underhanded, somebody who's gossiping, somebody who's spreading malicious stuff, somebody who's being really malicious gossip, that type of thing. I think the reason for this is because some of you guys are wanting to kind of move away from somebody who may be causing some issues. They may be spreading gossip, that type of thing, saying bad stuff. This could be a tittle-tattler, somebody who's doing it to you at work, for example, somebody who's talking behind your back, somebody who's causing issues by, spreading lies, that type of thing. Somebody who might be spreading slander on some of you guys with this Page of Swords in the reverse. So I'm just going to get this clarifier up. I just put myself on pause so I could just take a photograph. So in terms of this Nine of Swords reversed, there you go. You can see, can you see that? Sorry. Whoopsie daisy. Hang on. There you go. So you'll probably be only able to see a small portion of that, actually. I can't get in any smaller. Might be able to do that. Let me just see if I can. Oh yeah, I can. Let's just bring that in a bit. There we go. Okay. So there we go. There's the clarifier there. So that Nine of Swords, Libra, is because of the 6 of Swords and the Nine of Swords reverse and the Page of Swords reverse. To me, that looks like trying to move away or distance yourself from somebody who's causing a hell of a lot of trouble here. Somebody who's, being very sort of malicious, that type of thing. So yeah, some of you guys may want to, I guess, perhaps there's even moving home as well with the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles can actually indicate a new property, or maybe you feel like you want a new job with the Ace of Pentacles energy showing there because somebody's gossiping. You want to move away, you want to distance yourself, 6 of Swords, from gossip and backstabbing and underhand slander and things like that. So that could be that as well, Libra. What is the outcome? Let's move this out of the way. So what is the outcome? We have the Tower as the outcome. It's a tricky one because the Tower as an outcome can mean something comes to a head. It can literally mean, it can mean something, there's liberation perhaps, or with the Tower energy, there can be kind of this huge sort of transformation. There's something here that I think is going to happen that's going to kind of tear everything down, because the Tower is all about things kind of coming to a head, something being torn down, destruction, and a little bit of chaos in there as well. Not in a bad way, but I feel like if the reason that you want perhaps a new property or a new opportunity to come to you, a new job, for example, or the money to do something because you're worried, and maybe what you're worried about is somebody gossiping about you, wanting to, distance yourself from somebody who's gossiping about you, that type of thing. As we showed in that card there, the outcome with the Tower energy would be that something comes to a head. I think something's going to happen here, and I think it's going to kind of bring together a very sort of, maybe even a kind of like a dramatic ending to the situation with the Tower energy showing there. Let's have a look at what you're hoping for. I think that you're hoping for happiness and success here. Um, Libra. Maybe there's a happy resolution to a matter with the sun energy there. The reason for that, for some of you guys, it could be because you're divorced, or you're separated from a partner, or it could be with the Four of Wands in the reverse. You've left a group, or you've left your home with the Four of Wands in the reverse. Some of you guys might have fallen out with a group of people. Four of Wands in the upright is all about the group, the collective. In the reverse, it can be falling out with a friend. It could be, or a group of friends. I say Two of Cups reversed, or Three of Cups reversed is falling out with a friend. Four of Wands for me reversed was falling out with a group of friends or a group of people. Or it might be for some of you guys, you've been, pushed out of a particular group. Or as I've said, Four of Wands, because it's the marriage card. Reverse can be sort of separation or divorce in a marriage. Some of you guys, it could be that you're hoping for freedom and for a new life with the sun, especially if you've just recently gone through some form of a divorce or separation here. I feel like if there's resolution involved in this sun energy, or healing, or some sort of reconciliation, I feel with the outcome, no, this area here, I keep forgetting, this area here is, does this come to fruition with the sun? This area, well, it does, because the Empress would be that this would come to fruition. So I feel like whatever it is that you're hoping for with that sun energy, whether it's, reconciliation, or whether it's happiness, joy, freedom. I mean, look at how the character looks on the card. She's literally holding her arms out, and she literally feels like, oh, I can breathe, freedom. You look at the landscape of the card, and this lady is just feeling free and feeling kind of like, oh man, thank goodness I'm free again, blah blah. And I think that's what you're hoping for, Libra, in whatever capacity that is, because you've fallen out with a group, or you're no longer in a community, or you've left a community perhaps behind of people that you loved, or you're divorced or separated, whatever it is. I think with the Empress energy, I feel also, does it come to fruition? I think for the Empress, because it's to do with nurturing and growing, and sometimes these things can take time. So the Empress represents pregnancy as well, so it takes time to to get pregnant, then to grow the pregnancy, and then to bring it out into the world. So sometimes this is a card about having to be patient and wait for things that we want, or things that we desire to come to fruition. But I do feel that, yeah, it's going to come to fruition. For some of you guys, it might just take a period of time for that to happen. What is the fear? Funnily enough, it's the moon energy. Moon is all about fear as well. It can be about other things like dreams and connecting to your subconscious and things like that. But the moon is really about fear as well. It's about being fearful, being scared, disillusionment. And I think for some of you guys, it might be disillusionment as well, because the moon energy represents fluctuation and things not being what they seem. So I feel like the fear could be that there is disillusionment, or there is some sort of a cover up. Sorry, you look here and you see on the girl's eyes this bug, moth, I think it is, whatever, it's covering her eyes. She can't see. So I think that for some of you guys, the fear is not being able to see something, or having the wool pulled over your eyes, or being disillusioned, or somebody hiding something from you, something not being what it seems to be, or what it's cracked up to be. And what is the reason for that? The reason for that is because of the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is, I feel like for you Libras with this Two of Coins, I feel like it's because, I think this is something that you guys are doing with this Two of Coins. I think that you're weighing, it's because you're uncertain. Two of Pentacles doesn't always mean balance. Sometimes it means to weigh something up, to weigh up the pros and cons. And I feel like it could be because this thing's got two sides to it as well with the Two of Pentacles. I feel like some of you guys are, the fear is being disillusioned, or going into something and it's not all that it seems. And I think it's because with the Two of Coins also, some of you guys may be getting two versions of something. So it's not kind of like a straight up sort of, yes, this is a good thing to do, or no, this isn't a good thing to do. I think with the Two of Pentacles, what's happening is the reason for the fear of going into something with your eyes closed, or going into something and not having the full picture with the moon energy, is because I think with the Two of Pentacles, the fear of that is that is because you've got two versions or two sides of things with the Two of Pentacles. One thing says one thing, and then one thing says the other, and it's kind of like, I don't really know what the truth is. It's either good or it isn't good, but I'm getting two versions. Some people say it's good, some people say it's not good. I feel like the best thing to do is, how you approach that fear is by doing the research with the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is all about doing your homework, doing your research. You can see here this lady is sitting on her, laptop. There's 8 pentacles at the top here. But really what she's doing is she's just doing her homework, she's doing her research, and she's working through things. Sometimes when you get the moon in the Eight of Pentacles, it can literally mean you need to work through your fears. So how you approach this moon energy is by working through what it is that you're scared of, I guess. It's either doing some really in-depth research with the Eight of Pentacles or trying to work through the fear, because it could be that your intuition is saying, no, I should go for this, I should really get myself involved in this thing, but a part of you like, nah, because I've read some reviews and they said it's not so good, so part of me wants to do it, but then a part says it's not good. The Eight of Pentacles could be, well, if your intuition is telling you to do it, but you've got a fear that maybe you're making a mistake, maybe you just need to work through your fear, or maybe you just need to do a bit more research with the Eight of Coins. The outcome for the month is the Five of Swords. This exact combination showed up for Scorpio, and I explained it in a slightly different way. And thinking about it, I thought, well, this could be also to do with money. The situation with the Five of Swords, for me, the Five of Swords is about disempowerment, and it's about feeling a lack of power. It's about feeling at a disadvantage. It's about feeling less, so feeling that it's about the haves and have-nots, those that have power and those that don't have power. So it's about feeling disempowered and sometimes it's about feeling fear, feeling fearful, feeling hurt at times. I feel like the situation, again, I would probably just explain it the same thing, that there's something about feeling disempowered or feeling like somebody has taken your power or is taking your power. Now, I find this version of the Five of Swords very interesting in that I've just noticed on her cheek she's got a scar there, and her head is hurting as well, but she has sort of 3 swords and the other 2 have put down their swords, because this card indicates the idea of a futile fight. It's futile. There's no winners and there's no losers. Everybody loses, really. It's a futile fight. It doesn't really get anywhere. It might give you temporary sort of satisfaction, but overall it's not. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't really give you anything overall. I feel here the overall outcome is some form of conflict going on here, or some form of battle or fight that some of you guys could be facing. And it could also be a sense of somebody who is trying to gain power. The reason for that is it might be something about what you have. So this might be concerning the assets that you hold. This could be concerning the resources that you have. The Nine of Pentacles is all about having financial independence. So being financially, materially independent. Doesn't mean that you have to necessarily be rich, but it means that you've got assets, you've got stuff. And it might be that the outcome is that somebody is trying to take what you have, so trying to disempower you because of what you have, because of the resources that you have. How do you respond to this? How do you react to the Five of Swords? Some of you guys, the outcome, no, I don't think I'm going to read it that way, actually. It's an interesting one. That's what I would say with this one. Because how you react to, this card here is via the Seven of Cups. Okay, now the Seven of Cups is making wise choices. So you've got to make your choices wisely. You've got to look at what your options are. I think how you react to that Five of Swords is that you've got to look very clearly at what your choices are. What are your options? Do you want to back down from the fight? Choose wisely. Make your decisions wisely concerning whatever this fight is. Do you want to kind of back down? Do you want to be the 2 people here backing down to this person? Or I mean, it depends on what they're doing. I mean, they're kind of standing there and they've both put down their sword, but I'm just thinking, usually on the Five of Swords, the person looks quite smug, like, haha, I won, that type of thing. But on this one, this person doesn't look smug. They look kind of like, oh man, you know, I fought this battle and I just don't feel good about it. That's how this person kind of looks. They look depressed. They're like, kind of like this was futile, you know. So it's almost like the outcome is a futile fight. Um, and the reason that I'm going to say that the outcome for the month, for me, Libra, looks like you're involved in some sort of futile, pointless argument or fight. And the reason for that is because I feel like you've got what you need, or you've got Nine of Coins is about having what you need, having the resources. It's almost like it's because you've got what you need. Do you see what I mean? Like, you've got what you need. It's almost like you don't need to fight for something. I'm going to read it that way and say I feel like the outcome for the month is that there's a futile, pointless fight taking place. But the reason that it's futile and pointless is because with the Nine of Pentacles, you have what you need. You've got your resources. You don't really need to fight for anything else. So how you should react to that Five of Swords is, I feel like you need to choose your battles, I would say. Because this card is, if this is about battles, and this card is about choosing wisely, I feel like you need to choose your battles wisely. I think that the outcome is really saying how you should respond to this, Libra, is to say, is this a battle that is going to be worth fighting for me? And if it's not, then don't do it. Maybe you don't need to fight for something because you've already got what you need and you just don't need to fight for anything else. And maybe this is a case of just saying, well, I've got what I need. I should be happy with what I've got. I've got my resources. I've got everything I need. I don't need to fight for whatever else there is. Maybe I need to choose my battles wisely on this one here. Finally, we have the overall advice, sorry, for the month of August. What am I saying? The month of August. Sometimes you can get very confused on these readings. I do apologize. So yeah, overall, we've got the overall advice for the month of June, the end of June, should I say? For the end of June, we've got Justice in the reverse. To me, the advice. This is a really funny one because I'm advising you to do Justice reversed. Justice reversed as a card is all about injustice. That's what that card means. It means doing something that is unfair. It means not taking accountability. Maybe the advice is not to take accountability for something here, you know, as the advice card. So maybe it's that. Maybe the advice for the end of the month is do not take accountability for something you're not responsible for. Because Justice in the reversed is not taking any accountability for something as well. It's not taking responsibility for something as well when you look at that card. I mean, the overall advice could also be that the advice is not about what you do. The advice could simply be, well, this is going to happen. And it could be that you don't get justice on something here. Now, the reason for that is because of the Page of Pentacles reversed. Page of Pentacles reversed is when we're not putting any work or effort into something. We're not putting any work. It's a card about, in the upright, the Page of Pentacles indicates learning and indicates knowledge. But remember, pages are young, so this person's just trying to develop their knowledge. In the reverse, this person cannot be bothered to do that. They're just not interested. They're not interested in putting any work in. They're not interested in learning anything. They're not interested in knowing anything. You know, they really, really just don't care. So what this could be is it could be saying, well, the reason for the justice in the reverse, and it may be that this is you. Maybe you're not getting your justice. Maybe you're not getting something that you really want because you've not put the work in for it with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I feel like if that's the case, Libra, then, and actually justice is your card. Funnily enough, just thinking about it, justice is your card. So justice is Libra. That's a Libra card. So justice is all about being, when it's in the upright, it's all about being fair and being balanced. That's what that card is all about. It's all about fairness and balance, rationale, logic, is what this card is about. So if I apply it to you, I don't do astrology at all. But if if I apply this to you, then, you know, is this just a case of that the advice is that you are not so I'm just trying to think. Okay, so maybe you're not in alignment here, Libra. Maybe you're not being fair. Maybe you're imbalanced. Maybe this is something you need to address. And I feel like it's because there's something you don't know with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. I feel like you may lack some insight in something. Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to collect my thoughts because I couldn't think what this was. But I feel like there's something here that you are not in alignment with. That's the advice. And I feel like the advice for the month is that you're not going to be in alignment because you need to focus more on something here, Libra, with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, because there's something that you have very little knowledge about, you're not grounded in reality about, and that you may be very unfocused on. All right, maybe you're not learning from a mistake that you've made or something like that, but there's something that is throwing you off center, and it's because of something that you're not doing. And I think that that's something that you may need to address, you know, this month. Okay. How you can have a very good month, how you can, you know, what do you need to do to have a good month in June? Well, you need to do the Eight of Cups. I feel that you need to let go of something that isn't serving your highest self at the moment. I think that you need to let go of something that is you're not emotionally connected to anymore. I think there's something here that you need to let go, you need to release, you need to abandon, and you need to just walk away from it because I just feel like it's not serving you any longer. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at timing for this reading. Okay, well, wow. I can never get these readings to below 30 minutes. They always end up at over 30 minutes. Let's have a look at the advice cards then. So let's do these ones. If you're a man looking at this reading, you need to really focus on being active. So for some of you guys watching these, you need to focus on getting out, getting to the gym, you know, working out, you know, getting active, that type of thing in the gym. Some of you guys might need to focus on maybe being more aggressive. Maybe you need to focus on fighting for something that you believe in. Maybe you need to focus on, guys, you know, confronting an issue so that you can resolve it. Some of you guys, I think, with the whip energy here, need to focus on being very self-disciplined as well. I think if you're a woman, you need to focus on communication because you're looking towards the letter. So, you know, things like communicating, opening up, expressing yourself with that letter energy, communicating more with someone that you're not communicating enough with. Maybe there's things like writing to-do lists for yourself or writing down what your goals are, for example. I feel certainly expression through communication is really important for some of you guys, for some of you females watching this. Let's have a look at the Lenormand energy here as well. So we have Bear, Moon, Ring, and Anchor reversed. So for me, the Ring is all about commitment as well. The Bear is all about leadership or strength. The Moon is all about your dreams, but it can be about recognition. But I would say dreams here. So I feel like you need to commit to your dreams. Okay. I also feel like you need to have the strength. Now, the Anchor reversed. A lot of Lenormand readers don't use reversals in Lenormand. I do, because I see that they work. The Anchor, when it's in the upright, means something that is stable and means something that is secure and something that is stuck. In the reverse, it's almost like what was stuck is now coming away, now coming apart. So I would say here, looking at these cards, I would say here, Libra, some of you guys need to focus on having the courage or having the strength to unstick yourself or let go of something that has been stuck for quite a while. Okay. And you need to be out in order to commit to a dream that you have. Because I think that some of you guys have a dream, but in order to commit to that dream, you have to have the courage and the confidence and the strength to let go of something that you've been holding on to for quite a while. Okay. Let's have a look at the advice cards here as well. We have the Quantum Oracle. I need the book for this, so let me just get my book. We'll have a look at deserving and then planning and action reversed. So let's have a look at deserving first. So consciousness, deserving. Consciousness. So we're going to do Number 6, consciousness. So I have to get the actual area up. Yeah, so number 6, deserving. Okay. So firstly, right. So the outcome you desire, Libra, and deserve are about to line up for you. So investigate your attitude and expectations. You can accelerate the timeline by affirming your readiness and worthiness to receive. You've been longing for something to come to fruition, and in your mind you know that you deserve it. But sometimes in your heart of hearts you may not always be sure. It's time to really feel your worthiness and know that you deserve all the great and good things the universe has to offer. Whether it's love, a career, money, or healing, the world is ready to provide it. Know that you are worthy to receive. Fantastic. And then we're going to get just the planning and action reversed. Let's have a look. So we've got on that one energy. Let's have a look. I really need to have little, here we go, the energy cards. Little stickers in here to tell me where the various themes are. So energy, number 2, planning and action reversed. So when it's reversed in this card here, Libra, this card reversed is telling a tale of missed opportunities, plans fallen through, travels delayed, and actions not taken. This has been a period of slow-moving energy. I think this is reflected in the overall advice here as well. This has been a period of slow-moving energy for you, and it's time to pull yourself out of the quagmire. You do have some goals in mind, and you may even have done some preparation, but the efforts have stalled. Page of Pentacles reversed. Lately, your mind has been in the clouds, and your daily action has been consumed by the mundane. This card is telling you that you've got to start focusing on your higher priorities. It's not too late. You may have been in an ebb of low energy lately, burdened with fuzzy thoughts and a slow-moving body, but it's time to shake it off. Dust off your old goals or choose a new one. Reclaim your enthusiasm for life and get back in the race. Okay, brilliant. And finally, these 2 areas here. Again, it's telling you do not wait. Some of you guys are literally procrastinating. I think it's to do with what we just read in the planning and action reversed energy, and also in the overall advice for this area here. So I just feel like there's no time to wait. You really need to be acting on the things that you want. And finally, the advice through the teacups, the tea leaf cards are claw. Be careful, do not take risks though. Valley, deep personal strength and peace that ensures success. And celebration, tankard, which is celebration, fun and enjoyment. So I just reading these together, I just feel like you need to deepen your strength and peace, because these are going to ensure success, but be careful and don't take risks, okay? I feel like if you deepen your personal strength and peace that ensures success, you're going to have a lot to celebrate. You're going to have a lot of fun and enjoyment going forward. All right, that is your reading for the end of, for the mid-month for June. Yeah, have a great rest of June, okay? And I'll see you guys back in July. Take care. Bye-bye.